To convert is to give yourself up to God. There is no higher act of devotion, no greater loving sacrifice than to lay down one's life for another. No one has greater love than this, to lay down his life for his companions. This is the foundation of Christian faith. Jesus gave up his life for us. God proved his love for us by having Christ die for us while we were still sinners. Nothing can separate us from Christ's profound unconditional love once we've experienced it. Through the atonement of Jesus Christ, conversion is a lifelong process of becoming more Christ-like. It entails a shift not only in our actions, but also in our aspirations, attitudes, and fundamental natures. Making a decision to surrender your will to God or a higher power can feel like putting on a new pair of glasses that allows you to see things more clearly. Whenever we respond to God, He fills us with not only things that satisfy us, but also things that are good for us. He quenches the thirst of those who are thirsty. He gives nice things to those who are hungry. If we choose to turn to God, He can provide us with all what we require in our life. And that's it for our conversion.
Law is a rational ordinance that has been duly issued and decreed by competent authority for the general welfare of the people. Commands, duties, moral imperatives, and limiting what other people are free to do are not limited to a legislative or judicial sphere. Law is about a logical or reasonable concept of order that guides things toward their goals. It directs our acts to ensure that they are righteous and in the public interest. It also allows us to evaluate our behavior, and through this, it assesses whether we have followed the law's standards in our acts. As followers of Christ and children of God, we should be aware of what will benefit us and other people. We should have faith in what is right rather than defending the wrong. We should follow the right path so we all can live in a peaceful and justified world.
The conscience is the voice of God inside of man. It is a judgment of reason in which a person recognizes an act to be morally good or bad. The conscience has three actions. First, it is able to recognize what we have done. Second, it judges what we must do or what we must not do. Third, it judges what we have done as evil or good when it comes to our conscience. There are a few basic truths to be aware of. Our conscience does not decide what is good and bad. Rather, it already knows and judges our acts based on that knowledge. The essential moral concepts are known by all men, called synderesis. This is why it is referred to as the voice of God, by John Paul II and Vatican II. We are morally accountable for our conduct because of this ability. It's also what gives us our deep respect. We have the potential to make excellent decisions and hence shape our own fate. We play a role in our own admission to heaven and in the recompense we will get there when we arrive. It is not decided for us. Again, it is our ability to participate and choose for ourselves that distinguishes us as a species. A virtue is a habitual and firm disposition to do good. Doing good occasionally is not a virtue. A virtuous person is one who does good consistently. There are two classes of virtues, moral and theological. Moral are natural in that they help protect our natural faculties. As well, they are acquired by human actions. As we practice them, they increase in strength. We are aided in their practice by education and divine grace. Moral virtues include prudence, justice, temperance, and fortitude. Theological virtues. These virtues are infused directly by God, and they are first infused into the soul at baptism. They are the foundation of all other virtues. Giving them life, they allow us to share in God's divine life. Without them, it would not be possible to share in His life. They are not natural to human nature like the moral virtue, which is the reason that God must give them to us directly. Theological virtue includes love, faith, and hope.
Everyone has their own sense of freedom, but in order to achieve true and genuine freedom, we must follow God's path. To be more human, we must be like God. True and genuine freedom can only be used for good. Thus, we must use it by following God's lead, sharing His words and wisdom, helping others, and doing good deeds. We are our own responsibility when we exercise our actual freedom, because we are conscious of the fact that we are doing these things. We can do anything, a lot of things, when we have our own freedom. But if we want to become more free, we must do good things. The more we do it, the more free we become. By exercising our freedom, we may come across circumstances such as sin and temptation, which we should avoid doing or allowing to consume us, since the moment we allow it to enter our mind and body, we risk messing things up. But we must never forget that becoming more human means becoming more like God, who will avoid these things, and that freedom was given to us in order for us to be more faithful, to do things that God will undoubtedly approve of and be proud of. Treating people with kindness, to give love and hope to everyone, is also a form of exercising genuine freedom. Anyone can obtain the freedom that God has entrusted to us, but we must first fulfill our responsibilities and obligations.